President Trump and the First Lady hosted a trick-or-treat event at what's left of the White House. And this is one of my favorite things that the president does because it's so clear he never trick-or-treated once in his life.
Japan's new Prime Minister Sanai Takachi said during a press conference that she is nominating President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. And I can't believe I get to say this, but thank God nobody listens to women.
Getting roasted by comedians is one thing, but being completely dissected by Colin Jost and Michael Che is another story altogether. These two don't just joke about Trump's presidency, they treat it like a never-ending sketch that somehow refuses to get canceled. Together, they've turned America's political roller coaster into their favorite sitcom, starring a president who confuses chaos with charm and disorder with leadership. What began as comedy has become collective therapy for a nation, each punchline cutting deeper than any executive order.
President Trump met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. When asked how the meeting went, Trump said this.
But overall, I guess on the scale of from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, I would say the meeting was a 12.
I guess Trump just wanted to show China we're still way worse at math.
So President Trump are calling him tone deaf for posting pictures of his newly renovated White House bathroom during the government shutdown. But I'm happy that the floor looks slippery.
Jost kicks things off by pointing out that every single day under Trump feels like a rerun nobody asked to see. The scandals blend together like scenes from a bad improv show, and somehow the ending never changes. Trump declaring himself the hero of the very mess he created. It's theater without the art, pure performance powered by applause that he gives himself.
In his first term, here's how he gave candy to a kid dressed as a minion. Melania's just like, I guess that is how it's done. And then again this year, he did it to a kid dressed as DJ Marshmallow. Just put it in the bag. Why is he so weird? Even the kid is like, this is not right. It's kind of an embodiment of his entire presidency because it's just a violation of norms that no other president or person has ever considered.
Che, meanwhile, treats Trump's presidency like a stand-up routine that's been running too long. He doesn't even need props. Trump provides endless material himself. From the contradictions to the constant self-praise, it's all there. Che compares the administration to an all-you-can-eat news buffet serving nothing but terrible ideas, each dish topped with an extra helping of confusion.
Volodymyr Zelensky has said that if President Trump provides Ukraine with Tomahawk missiles, he will nominate Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. You know, the prize they give you for selling missiles. There was outrage that another alleged drug smuggling boat from Venezuela has been blown out of the water without warning. And you may not think that's a big deal right now, but one day soon, you'll look at yourself in the mirror and realize you're out of cocaine.
Jost then moves on to Trump's favorite hobby, calling everything he touches the best. The best economy, the best leadership, the best whatever he happened to read off a cue card last. It's like listening to a contestant on a game show who hasn't realized the buzzer went off 10 minutes ago. Every success is stretched beyond belief, every failure pinned on invisible enemies, and every speech sounds like a motivational seminar for people who refuse to read fine print.
Like, who's ever thought I should put the candy on the kid's head? My favorite part, though, was when Trump and Melania made a grand entrance to this song. Michael Jackson's Thriller. Just the perfect soundtrack to lure kids to a famous mansion.
Che takes things further by turning Trump's press briefings into a full-on comedy special. He imagines them as open mic nights, where the jokes are supposed to be facts, and the audience laughs only to keep from crying. Che says Trump doesn't inform the nation, he performs for it. He spins disasters into triumphs, confusion into confidence, and every conference ends like a late-night infomercial, loud, repetitive, and somehow always selling himself.
President Trump criticized Time magazine for using a bad picture of him on the cover, saying, quote, "They disappeared my hair." And I gotta agree, that thing do look waxed.
Jost zooms in on Trump's obsession with loyalty, pointing out that under him, loyalty isn't about trust, it's about flattery. Every staffer becomes a contestant in the Apprentice White House edition, where the grand prize is surviving another week without being blamed for something you didn't do. Jost compares it to working for a boss who fires the smoke alarm because it's too noisy during a fire. The absurdity isn't just in the decisions, it's in pretending this is normal government. Che then digs into Trump's toxic relationship with facts. Calling it strained would be generous. In Trump's world, facts aren't partners, they're obstacles. Che paints him as a magician sawing truth in half, baffled when no one applauds. Whenever reality challenges his version, he simply rewrites the scene on the spot. It's not lying, Che jokes. It's creative nonfiction from a man allergic to reality checks. Meanwhile, Jost gleefully mocks Trump's social media addiction. The early morning tweets, the all-caps confidence, the digital outbursts. It's like watching a teenager run a country from his bedroom. He imagines him scrolling through reactions like a comic reading bad reviews but refusing to believe them. Every tweet becomes a decree, every typo a national incident. He calls it government by Wi-Fi, where diplomacy runs on emojis and decisions get made one post at a time.
While traveling on Air Force One to the Middle East to celebrate the ceasefire, President Trump told reporters, "I don't think there's anything that's going to get me into heaven." Then he paused for 10 full minutes, waiting for someone to say, "That's not true." Because Trump can't go to heaven. He's far too busy down here, running hell.
Che can't resist turning Trump's rallies into prime comedy material. The endless monologues, recycled slogans, and choreographed outrage. It's political theater performed by a man convinced that a standing ovation means success. Che jokes that the rallies feel less like speeches and more like pep talks from a cult leader trying to sell matching hats. It's entertainment for those who confuse loudness with leadership, and Trump plays his role like someone terrified of silence. Jost highlights Trump's economic boasts, always booming, even when it's clearly breaking. He calls it a financial magic trick where the numbers sparkle until you realize they're borrowed from tomorrow. Trump brags about stock market highs like a gambler flashing his winnings while hiding the debt. Jost mocks it as optimism on credit, where denial is the only industry still growing. Che adds that Trump runs America like a real estate project. Lots of branding, little building. Every plan sounds flashy until math enters the chat. He paints Trump as a salesman who believes hype counts as achievement, leaving the country pitching ideas that vanish faster than campaign promises.
In the Middle East are crediting President Trump with brokering the Israel-Hamas ceasefire, but it makes perfect sense to me because sometimes crazy people only listen to other crazy people. Like when you see a guy jacketing on the subway, you don't just ask him to stop. No, you got to take off your pants too, and now we can negotiate. President Trump has reportedly become concerned with Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene criticizing Republicans on key issues, with Trump asking, "What's going on with Marjorie?" Little advice, bro, just let her go. You can't change her. God knows I've tried.
Jost shifts to Trump's crisis management, or lack thereof. Whether it's natural disasters, scandals, or global turmoil, the pattern never changes. Deny, deflect, declare victory. Jost compares it to a kid insisting he didn't break the vase while standing in a pile of glass. Accountability isn't shocking anymore, it's extinct. The absurdity fuels the humor. Che, always sharper, says Trump feeds on outrage. Each scandal only serves to bury the last. Watching him, Che jokes, is like seeing someone juggle controversies just to avoid dropping the truth. Every feud, every tweet storm, every chaotic distraction is noise meant to drown out the silence that might expose what's underneath. He calls it theater of chaos, and we're all trapped in the audience. Jost mocks Trump's global diplomacy, too. The exaggerated photo ops, handshakes, and boasts of historic deals. He says Trump treats world leaders like influencers, collecting meetings the way people collect selfies. It's foreign policy as performance art, a spectacle where the show always overshadows the substance.
Start update with some good news for once. There is peace in the Middle East. The only downside is there's war in Chicago. Only Trump could Freaky Friday Chicago and Gaza. And I know Trump is upset that he didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize, but the last guy to send heavily armed men into an American city was Bane from Batman. It was awarded this week to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, or as Fox News reported it, Trump robbed by deranged Hispanic.
Che adds more fire, calling Trump's global reputation a crash course in overconfidence. He imagines other leaders treating him like that one coworker who talks big but never reads the memo. Che mocks the loud nationalism, the self-praise, the belief that arrogance equals authority. The punchline: every show of strength just exposes deeper insecurity. Jost then tears into Trump's toxic romance with the media, a love-hate saga that makes messy exes look stable. He craves the spotlight, but despises reflection. Jost says it's like watching a man argue with his own mirror, desperate for compliments, but furious when honesty stares back. The irony, he adds, is that Trump needs the media more than it needs him. Outrage is his oxygen, headlines his heartbeat. Che, ever direct, brands Trump the influencer-in-chief. He turns every crisis into content, every scandal into engagement bait. Truth doesn't matter, traffic does. It's governance through outrage, powered by endless views.
President Trump, while on his trip, said that Iran has sort of agreed to terms for a nuclear deal in the same way Trump has sort of agreed to uphold the Constitution. Many people in Saudi Arabia were very happy with President Trump's visit to the country because rich Saudis love to fly out thick blondes.
Jost skewers Trump's obsession with personal loyalty over national loyalty, describing it as a group project where the leader erases everyone's answers and insists only he's right. It's dysfunction dressed as devotion, and Jost mines every ounce of irony. Che digs deeper, calling Trump's style emotional autocracy, where feelings outweigh facts and every disagreement feels like betrayal. It's not leadership, it's live-streamed therapy gone wrong. Jost shifts to the pandemic years, painting them as tragicomedy. Science ignored, experts dismissed, logic replaced by slogans. The humor hits hard because it's rooted in truth. Denial turned disaster into catastrophe. He says watching it was like seeing someone try to cure a fever by yelling at the thermometer.
Well, President Trump traveled to the Middle East this week, and if I were him, I would have just stayed there because it looked awesome. Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia where he was greeted with a lavender carpet which matched the color of his tie and also the length. They also rolled out a mobile McDonald's truck for President Trump's visit featuring Saudi Arabia's most popular new burger, the McJournalist.
Che turns that chaos into commentary, saying Trump's refusal to face reality exposed a national flaw, our tendency to confuse confidence with competence. Jost calls it main character syndrome on a national scale, where every win is exaggerated, every loss rebranded, and every truth buried under self-praise. Che imagines Trump narrating history as if he invented it, convinced every event somehow revolves around him. He jokes that America is suffering political burnout, and maybe the only cure left is silence. Jost revisits the economy, this time comparing Trump's flashy promises to hollow results. He points to the inflated numbers and false spin covering widening cracks, calling it economics by confidence trick, where everything looks good until the lights come on. Che says Trump's economic storytelling feels like a countrywide get-rich-quick scheme. Every speech a sales pitch, every setback a conspiracy. He paints Trump as a lifelong salesman peddling a product that never ships.
Executive order giving refugee status to white people from South Africa. I could have sworn that white people had it good in South Africa. Must be the Mandela effect. The Trump administration announced that after face-to-face talks with China, it is lowering tariffs from 145% to 30%, which is a little like OJ bragging about taking the knife out.
Jost closes with Trump's warped relationship with truth. Ever shifting, ever spinning, endlessly collapsing. He says the only consistent thing about Trump is inconsistency itself, describing his presidency as a soap bubble factory of nonsense. Che dives into Trump's psyche, the craving for validation, the fear of irrelevance, the constant rewriting of his own story. He jokes that Trump's greatest enemy isn't the media, Congress, or critics, it's reality. The man's been running from it for decades, and now he's running the country the same way, in circles. Jost likens the presidency to an improv show that never ends. The cast keeps changing, the jokes keep falling flat, and yet the crowd can't look away. It's chaos dressed as confidence, performance mistaken for purpose. Che ends with a punchline that hits deep. Trump isn't just the symptom, he's the mirror. A reflection of a nation that confuses noise with power, fame with leadership, and spectacle with strength. The way Jost and Che dismantle him isn't loud. It's precise. They peel back every layer of ego until truth stands exposed in the spotlight. Their roast isn't cruel, it's cleansing. Because behind every laugh hides a warning. This isn't normal. Laughter might be the only way left to stay sane. Jost exposes the absurdity, Che reveals the fear, and together they remind us that sometimes mockery is the only medicine for madness. Trump may still hold the title, but in the court of comedy, the verdict's already delivered, and this time, the punchline hits harder than the podium.